Hi, I'm Yasmine reporting on the February 28th CSU board meeting because nothing happened at the previous board meeting that you need to know about. However, February 28th, it was the stage of a lot of debates and drama, although that is a biased term. Internal politics of the organization and broader issues regarding the finances and organization of the university as a whole were discussed. Following the approval of the agenda, a student, Laura Morales, presented a proposal for a scholarship for international students that would mitigate the 5% international tuition increase for international students. Furthermore, she made a case that since the scholarship aims to retain international students for a 2-year program to populate 3rd and 4th year courses, it is also financially sound for the university. Following Morales' presentation, the meeting moved to approve several absences for the VP of Finance, the VP of Student Affairs, Senator Goyle, the mature student liaison, and the at-large director, all of which were approved. Because there was no unfinished business remaining from the previous relatively boring board meeting, the meeting was able to move on to the recommended motions. Today, the discussed motions were a review of 1, student associations policy, and 2, increasing clubs and events fees, which, if passed, this motion in the future would increase the fees that students pay on their tuition from 37 cents per credit to 50 cents per credit. Other reports included was a rather dramatic inquiry and investigation into the validity of the reports that VPs have been submitting per month in order to get paid. Currently, all members are required to meet a minimum 80 hours of work in order to get their annual pay for an academic year, which is $23,000. And there has been an inquiry into the VP of Equity and Sustainability, Dilkaran Singh, who over the span of 3 months has failed to meet his 80-hour per month requirements. The vice president's pay is currently over $23,000 per academic year. So the current inquiry into the VP of Equity and Sustainability has been over the failure to meet his required 80 hours per month of work on 3 consecutive months. While he has managed to be given his pay in the past months, the motion was passed today on February 28th to subside his pay for further notice until another motion is considered to reinstate his pay. When Dilkaran was given the opportunity to comment on his lack of ability to meet the 80-hour requirements per month, he was not able to join over Zoom despite being present in the meeting at the time. For a half an hour, the meeting progressed onto other matters until Dilkaran was able to return to us, apparently due to technical difficulties. He was then given the opportunity again to defend himself and provide some sort of explanation for why he has been unable to fulfill his duties for the past 3 months after the motion to revoke his pay starting in February had already been passed. According to Dilkaran, he was dealing with personal issues that made him unable to fulfill his duties for the past month, and it was then pointed out to him by a guest in the meeting that this had been an ongoing problem for the past 3 months, to which Dilkaran had no response. Finally, another board member asked Dilkaran what he planned on doing to accommodate for his overwhelming lack of participation for the past few months, and if he had any strategies in mind to actually enhance his engagement and meet his mandatory obligations for the next few months in the academic year remaining. And unfortunately, Dilkaran did not have a plan yet. Dilkaran did say, quote, that he will give his 100% from now on in the Zoom meeting, though perhaps moving forward there will be more participation. Finally, in the executive director's report, the board discussed all of the inquiries into inappropriate campaigning behavior in the previous election and went over the procedures that students can take to protect their rights, as well as file official complaints for any inappropriate behavior or harassment. Something in particular that stood out that students should be aware of is the past history of slating behavior, which is when multiple candidates run as friends or in inclusion with each other and promote to the student body that multiple candidates should be voted for in unison, rather than promoting that students make individual decisions on who they feel would best represent them in various positions of leadership. Slating has been a serious problem because it leads to an inherent conflict of interest in positions of power where friends often support each other even when unethical behavior or incompetency is occurring on the job. So if you are a student and you experience any inappropriate campaigning behavior in the future in this coming up election, we really are encouraging students to protect their rights and ensure that they are properly represented on the CSU Board of Directors in the future by filing official complaints, which they can do by going to csu.bc.ca and filling out an official complaint form. By filing official complaints, we can ensure that all members who are elected into the CSU Board of Directors are competent and willing to actually fulfill their goals in their leadership positions. Make sure to stay engaged with our page for more information on how to protect yourself as a student and your voter rights, as well as your representation on the CSU Board of Directors in the future. Goodbye, comrades. Yeah.